So today we are looking at centre backs, defenders, left back, right backs, the whole shebang. In terms of where we're going with this, there is now a lot of players that are due an Evo, they are due an upgrade, and we've only got 2 weeks left of footies as we know of at the moment. We know that there's Team 5 at the absolute minimum because of obviously the season completionist, so we don't actually know what is coming after that. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. And more than likely what we'll find is FC26 kind of pre-warm-up show. We might find some transferred cards as we've not seen anything from that. And I know last time they did the beautiful cover stars, which was a pretty decent promo. Whether it's going to actually be in full effect again, I don't know, but more than likely we'll see a lot more 99s, and we have got some absolute stunning players for you right now. Now, in terms of kind of what we're looking at in the top of the top for a right back, I think the first one that comes to mind is going to be the likes of Thuram. He's one that personally comes in as an effortless card that works so well in this game, and just looking at the card in himself, without the camera on would always be beautiful. You've obviously got it coming in at 650. Price-wise, it kind of doesn't matter at this point, because obviously when we do look at the price in itself, it doesn't necessarily paint a picture, because naturally we're going to get these cards relatively cheap, if not for free, in the unlimited grind. We may not get them straight away, we might not get them in the first week, but for instance, we're looking at these cards right now, and okay, we might not get CR7 at this moment in time, but any of the footies teams won, we can now start to get in any of the kind of grindable packs we'll see here, the 1 to 5 one of free player pick that will give us more and more footies, and we should hopefully be able to get on board with these cards very soon. I think another one that really comes to mind as a right back in the top meta would be Maicon. I think this year he has been exceptional, and most definitely some of these cards are oldies and goldies. You look at kind of like the 88 where he came from, was a brilliant card from the very start, then obviously into the 90, took a while to get himself into the fantasy, but we're back now with an incredible 97 Maicon, and I think right back goes, there's a couple now that I would still put in the absolute best of the best, because they are just stunning right backs. And I think another one that, to be honest, really puts himself up there is Zambrotta. He's finally got himself an absolute stunner of a card. All three of them being 97. They all will be eventually into an Evo that potentially makes them into a 99. Whether you get 3 Evos to make all of them 99 or just one and you have to pick, I do think Zambrotta again is exceptional with what he does. Playstyle plus wise, all three of them are incredible. Stats wise, they're all obviously at the top level, so that's fine. I think all of them, bar from like one, maybe a 5/5, which again, as long as they got the weak foot, I'm not too fussed about a 5-star skiller at right back. It's an added bonus, but it's not necessarily needed. And obviously with Zambrotta, he is an SBC like Maicon was, so there is always that to go with. A few of the players that now are due an Evo and potentially could get an upgrade, Beckenbauer being one of them. I think at this point in terms of a centre-back, when we look at all of the 97, 98 and even 99 centre-backs we've got, he's just going to need a bit more of a boost in there. He wasn't quite in the top of his game when he came out during the Immortals, but he's still a good centre-back. He just needs that little bit of a boost. And to be honest, the CDM does call a little bit better for him, to be fair. Beckham's an interesting one because he's going to be one that either gets a really nice card or again would be kind of into your Evo for a right back. I personally wouldn't say he's going to get anywhere near, even if you was to make him a 98, 99. I don't think he hits the same level as these, unfortunately. And that's just going from one opinion to the other. Again, looking at a few of the others, I think Cannavaro this year, very, very subpar. And to be honest, I don't think there's too much they could have done differently with him, bar from just upgrading him that little bit more. I know obviously he was in an objective this time round, but even the 91 was not great at Team of the Year. It didn't have the playstyle pluses you wanted. The intercept's fine, but an aerial is absolutely needed with this card. Being a smaller centre-back, unless you were going to put them in that left-back, right-back zone, you've got to give him the aerial. And even to this day, he still doesn't have it. So, unfortunately, he will be dropped out. Teo Hernandez, just going on to the left backs quickly. Another one that can definitely do an upgrade. He will be getting one, I can imagine, if they do follow through with these beautiful transferred cards, because he is changed now to, I don't know which one in Saudi, but he's gone to the Saudi League. So we are still waiting on an upgrade to get him into that top end. And yes, he did get a shapeshifter, which is fine, but as a left back, he's still one of the best that you can get. So even if you wanted to throw him into this 97, you can still do that, give him the free playstyle pluses. I think I've managed to get him into 4 if you put him into something else. So there is plenty of room to kind of grow with him as this Evo, but he definitely needs an upgrade. And more than likely, he'll be a 99 at some point anyway. You look at the likes of Klaus, I think would be kind of more into your usable now. And I think, to be honest, with Bombentito, I definitely butchered the name, but he's another card that most definitely got our eyes up in the grassroots, and then obviously throwing into an Evo straight away was impeccable with that pace. And again, definitely puts himself in there. You look at him with the Vida. It's a beautiful card. You can obviously throw him into a left back, which is just absolutely stunning. Pace is there, defending physical goes up. He's think the one I've chosen for mine. So as a left back goes, going to be up there. As a centre back goes, it's not going to be bad. I think he's 6'3", so he's still a decent height for somebody with 99 pace. I'm definitely not going to be too mad with him. I would say go into the Evo to then put him into that very usable, but he's definitely got to go into the Evo first. Batcher, I really didn't like. I think everybody's probably packed her by now. We've got her multiple times, and she just isn't the same as what she was last year. Obviously, Karchawi, Sakina was the kind of left back for the D1 league, but it definitely seems Batcher's kind of taken over that role this year, and unfortunately, it just didn't really hit in this left back. You might be able to get some usability, but realistically, she just wasn't there. Now, obviously, one that was there is Alphonso Davies, a beautiful left back, most definitely more of a wing back. I think as a standalone left back is just in that role. I thought he was average. As a wing back, stunning. He gets up and down effortlessly. Now, for me, I'm going to have to kind of go against him as a both, and I do think he's kind of just on Klaus's level. When we look at both of them, obviously, the 4 playstyle pluses, he's got himself the rapid, the technical, the long ball pass, and the jockey. It's not bad, but I do think when we do look at the left backs that we've got going into this, there's going to be some stunners. You look at someone like Klaus, again, he may not have the technical quick step or technical rapid, but he has the relentless, which adds just at least something different other than a running type. He then has the jockey and the pinged pass. I think is just that slightly bit better, and it's only because Davis was an SBC that people probably would finish him off more. McCabe, unfortunately, goes into the bottom category. Desai, I would go into kind of usability more so than anything. I don't think he goes too much more than that. He's a standard centre-back. Again, kind of more of your CDM. He is the taller CDM as well. I think he's 6'1". I thought he was 6'4". A little bit smaller than I thought, but in general, obviously got the playstyle pluses. And Puyo, another one that never really gets the love. Like, he's always good. He's just never in that top category. And I don't know if they'll ever be able to change that, if that is just a game format or not. But Puyol has always been a solid centre-back, not necessarily a great FIFA player. He's always just good at one thing, but not everything. When we do compare him to the likes of a Virgil, he just doesn't really come out on top. I would say definitely Loftus-Cheek and Mama Deville. Again, going to be more Evos more so than anything. We obviously have DeMarco and Gabriel. Gabriel are probably missed now. I mean, you could Evo him. There is a potential that he gets a footies, but with Saliba already having it, if there is only 2 weeks left and then they go into transfer, into warm-up, the likely chance that he gets in there, I don't think so. I think we're going to be looking at more of a Rudiger at the moment, and then possibly into Maybe a Marquinhos if they go over the shapeshifter. I mean, Gabriel has got a shout, but I'd probably say he's going to be one to miss at this point. And to be honest, I'd be very close to saying the same for DeMarco. We'll come back to him, as I think in terms of left backs, there's still a few that we can go with. Obviously, the big one that we've got going on is going to be our boy Mendy. I mean, there is no better shout than a Mendy at this point, especially without having the Evo. Obviously, Teo would be up there with the best of them, but without an Evo, 98 Mendy is incredible. Obviously, it comes in the season pass as well, which is even better. So you do get the likes of a Virgil van Dijk and also a Mendy going in there very, very comfortably. Now, he's still not the best left back. I must admit, the best left back most definitely goes to our boy Nuno Mendes. He's coming in at 2.6 at the moment. I can imagine we will be getting 99 SBCs at some point if they do follow that pattern. Otherwise, I don't know what they're doing, because they really should have started that by now. I realise we are in August in 2 days' time, so we need to start getting these SBCs. Otherwise, I'm just not going to be bothering to complete them. And I can imagine a lot of people are getting in that way anyway as well. But I do think as left back goes, them two are going to be up there. And to be honest, I do think Charles has most definitely got a shout. Now, the biggest question will be, does she have a shout at the top meta or not? And I know a lot of people will obviously sprout the same stuff, but realistically, for an 80,000 SBC, she was a decent upgrade. 99 rated, intercept fantastic, jockey fantastic, long ball pass, quick step and technical. Now, she has got the 5 play style pluses already, so the quick step technical is not necessarily as bad as something along the lines of going with kind of Alfonso, because he's got the 5, not got the 5 already. So already you look at the stats and I'm thinking, well, pretty top end. If I'm going to be honest, she's definitely going to be up there. Is she going to be able to hang with the best of them? And to be honest, as a centre-back, I'd possibly say no. I don't really like too many short centre-backs. As a left-back, I really don't see why not. 5 play style pluses, great stats, great 5-star, 5-star. What is there not to love? And I think the exact same will be said to an Alex Scott as well. Coming in as the 99 right back, she's obviously coming in with the 5 play style pluses, not missing the technical, does have the whipped pass, which can be utilised as well, but she's obviously got the whipped pass, the quick step, the incisive, jockey and intercept. Great stats, 5-star, 4-star. I thought they all had the 5-5, but Heroes must have been different. As a right back, she's got to be up there. In terms of a 99 at the moment, yes, maybe we do get more 99s coming in on the right back. She's got to be dropped down, but realistically at this moment in time, she is always going to be up there. And then finally, this is where kind of maybe the top end is a little bit more of a struggle. She's obviously coming in at 5'7" as a centre back. I'm not a big fan. She can still play right back, which is the big one, and also into a CDM. Quick step, long ball, intercept, anticipate, bruiser. You're not getting much better playstyle pluses than that. Stats-wise, absolutely up there. Defending 98, physical 99. She's going to be a force. Now, as a centre-back, which I'm going to go on her base actual position, I'd go very usable. I don't think I could go above a Virgil or on the same level because of the height. And it would be the same for someone like a Cannavaro. If he was 99, I would still have to put him one lower. I just don't think, as a centre-back, tall centre-backs matter. And that's just my personal play style. They might be different, and it's the same for someone like a Coman. I don't think he's a great centre-back just because he's kind of is a bit more everywhere. Obviously, he's coming in at 5'11", which I think is still on the cusp of quite a small centre-back. I'm looking at like 6'2" and above normally. You might be able to get away with like a 6'1" with very good playstyle pluses, but 6'3", 2, 4 is kind of, and above is where I'm really looking for. So even Coman, I'd possibly just say miss out. And to be honest, he's very much like Desai. I'd go more of a CDM more so than anything. And I know that's always been an unpopular opinion, but it just is what it is. I think it is. Rudiger in the bin. Then we go with Pacho. I think Pacho's still got a bit in him, to be honest. His 95 is better than his 96 as well. I'd possibly even say you could go with to an Evo for him. He's 95, so he's available for a lot of these Evos as well. As we do go through into a few of the others, obviously Maldini. I mean, it's an easy one to go up there. I do think Reece James and Cucurella, as left back and right back goes, can start to go into Evos now, but still got to wait for the right one to come along. They are great left back and right backs that you can throw in. Pedro Porro was another one that I think is absolutely up there. And I get that obviously you're going to be looking at the Alfonso and thinking, well, maybe he is a little bit harsh. Possibly. Again, it goes down to stats more than anything. I think the fact that when we do look at the Kukurea and James triple playstyle plus, they can add themselves into that fourth and don't have to get the technical. Like we look at kind of like a Reece James into his 96 now. I don't know if he's available in any at the moment, but if he is available into one, you can kind of handpick which one. So for instance, you've obviously got Passer's Paradise into the 97. So if it was to whack him in there, he's got the quadruple, he's got a rapid, bruiser, incisive, and pinged pass. Maybe more of a centre mid than right back, but you get what I mean. He's not having the bad playstyle pluses added into it, and he's already got the stats to kind of throw himself up there. So he's definitely one that I would really like to see as an Evo, as realistically, he's not going to be upgraded anymore. Marquinhos, I'd possibly be going into more of an Evo. I mean, he's a standard centre-back. He's got the right playstyle pluses, but he's kind of just on that cusp now of kind of like Pacho. He needs that more of an upgrade. Yap Stam, incredible. Same as a Van der Ven as well, actually. Them two as SBCs were incredible. Now, maybe going a little bit of above and beyond going into the top meta, but I do think for them two specifically were incredible. Van der Ven especially, but Yap Stam is still an absolute icon when it comes to coming into that centre-back role. And I can imagine we will see a Lucio at some point. I don't know if we've had Company. I know we had him as a hero goalkeeper, but I can imagine he's got to be another one that should be throwing himself into the hat. Being a goalkeeper as a shapeshifter needs a centre-back upgrade there, so they'll definitely be there at some point. I do think Saliba possibly a little bit under Van der Ven, and again, that might be an unpopular opinion as well. I think looking at Saliba from previous, if I went like 2 months back and went into the team of the season, he's absolutely up there with the best of them. I think Van der Ven got his number. I really, really do. Umbra Meccano would be another one I'd throw there. Harry Maguire, I feel very silly putting him into a very usable, but he's actually quite a nice card. He's not necessarily the top, and most definitely he's not going to be in everybody's team, but he's not a bad player. Like, they've actually really upped his stats, to say the least. He definitely needs somebody a bit more mobile near him, but he works really, really well in this position. DeMarco, I'd go with an Eva. I think I'm being very harsh if I go miss. Ruben Diaz, a little bit of usability like Marquinhos. I think the same for Torre. He's kind of a nostalgic player. Very, very tall, obviously, and he throws himself up there. Undogi, absolutely love. I think these combinations, these two, obviously you do have the likes of kind of the Nations League as well. I don't think they had... I mean, to be honest, I'm probably missing out on Cancelo, aren't I? No, he didn't. He won in the team. I was like, did I miss out on Cancelo? I was like, I definitely looked through, but realistically, he just wasn't there, in my opinion. Obviously, Bastoni, I'd go into kind of like the last dregs with him. He's not going to be too much higher. Lukaku, I didn't really like. I did like Emmanuel. He weren't terrible. Now, I weren't a massive fan of many shapeshifters. There was some that kind of worked. I thought he worked quite well as the striker centre-back. He was the better one for me. Now, obviously, 6'5", always going to come in as a big unit, but Lukaku just really didn't work. I didn't like Ruben Neves either, and I know a lot of people liked him. I just really didn't. Kola, obviously going to go into more of a usability. Kayunde would go into the very usable. Another one that potentially with the right Evo could go up, but with the fact of the heroes and icons, he just didn't have that next level in him, in my opinion, anyway. Bon Pastor, another one that just came out of nowhere, to be honest. I think, obviously, with France going forward a little bit more into the tournament, she wasn't a bad card, and I think in terms of left-backs now, I'd possibly go a little bit higher because stats-wise, we're up there. I'd feel very, very harsh dropping her down one more. St. Just is nostalgic merchant. Georges will kind of go into the... I'd probably go into more bottom. It's got to be, really. If she's not got the stats of kind of a Williamson, she's got to be dropped out. Romero, now I'm surprised he's not had a footies or anything coming in. I know he did get this version, which is very nice, and we are still waiting on that 97 upgrade. He's a great centre-back, but I do think if we're looking at him between the footies, he needs that Evo to go up one more. Obviously, Tar would be the exact same for that. Carlos Alberto, I mean, you don't really need to put too much pressure on him. Paredes would go down. Kelly Smith, I just did not like at all. She just didn't work in that left-back role. And again, it comes down to the playstyle pluses for me. In terms of a 5 playstyle pluses, she's got wonderful amounts. Incisive, brilliant, jockey, intercept, finesse is just so random. It's kind of like forcing you into more of a left mid, left wing. And I think that is the better position for her. So as a left back, I just wouldn't have her. As a left wing, a little bit of a different story. Kind of same with Foden. I just didn't really rate him at all in this. I think he's okay. But again, technical quick step. It's not a real great pairing. He can play the left mid. He's obviously got the bruiser and jockey, which is okay. And that's really about it for him. So for me, I do think with Foden, he's kind of just overhyped from the name. And to be honest, it's a right too, because they gave him absolutely nothing. I just don't like him as a card. I do think he needs a footage, but he needs to go back into his position. Give him a 98, 97 right wing for him. Obviously, it has to be 98. They're not going to drop him down, but give him his own position back. Obviously, with Rodri, he could play left back, right back, and centre back. I didn't think this was a bad card, to say the least. He's definitely being looked at a little bit more now. The footies is here, but I think he's holding on to a thread. I wouldn't necessarily say completely out the meta, but he's most definitely not in that top category anymore. And that's going to be the list for today. Make sure you do like and subscribe on this, and I'll catch you all for the next one tomorrow.